Hello, everybody. Here with the book club Bookie Boys. My name is Roy, and the next Joseph. You want to introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Joseph, and I just sit on the computer and play video games all day. Fun
So
fact.
sick, so sick. Okay, Brett.
Hi, my name is Brett. Pretty much the same. Can't wait to discuss the book.
Blake, it's your turn.
Hold on, I'm letting the cat out, bro.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
That's Blake's introduction.
I'm Blake, and I couldn't think of a fun fact before it was my turn.
Okay, that's good now. Okay, hello everybody. Talking about Atomic Habits by James Clear for the first book club today. Just did the introduction to chapter 1, so I wanted to go over a couple things. He talked about a lot of interesting things. It was mainly just laying groundwork and stuff, and how he liked to define like terms for us, like habit and some other things. I think one of the things that stuck out to me kind of the most about the book is that he states that it's an operating manual, so it's supposed to be like a very like practical book. It's not just like a theoretical book or anything. And I think the section that was the most interesting to me was when he talks about goals and systems. So everyone, like, the contemporary idea is basically like you pick a goal, then you just aim for the goal and you achieve it, and that's like the big thing. But he makes a lot of good points about how only focusing on the goal doesn't work very well, and it's not like the correct way, and instead you should focus on like the system. So basically like the processes and everything of how you get to that goal rather than just focusing on the goal itself. And the way that I like think about that and can like relate to that, it's like if you have like a goal of just reading a book and you're not too focused about like the how you do it, you don't care too much about like the system of reading a book, you can just pick up the book and kind of just skim over the words and not really understand what you're reading and just get to like the end of the book. Like you can finish a book and get nothing from it because you weren't too concerned about the system of how you actually read and understand it, and you just like they're always going to use like terms you don't fully understand or use words that you don't know the definition to. And so if your goal is just read the book, like finish the book, then you're just going to try to get to the end as fast as possible, and you're not really aiming for understanding the book or getting anything from the book. So I thought that was kind of like the most interesting part to me, was the discussion about the systems and goals. And for me, I kind of like have my own rule of like never go to bed without like a thought in your head, and basically
It rhymes.
it does rhyme, but it basically just means for me it's like I pick up a book and like I'll read something until I get to kind of like a part where it like has me thinking about something, or like wondering what they meant by, you know, like a paragraph or sentence or something. And so that it's a kind of good way to kind of keep yourself interested in everything. And yeah, that was the no, I think that's pretty much everything I kind of want to talk about.
Wait, did you take notes?
Yeah, I yeah.
Fuck!
I
mean, you can take notes for this because it's just easier to like put it into words, like if you're thinking about it, but you don't have to.
Yeah, I just put some things down in there and stuff that were pretty interesting.
This is out of order, but I was gonna say it does have a chapter summary. I feel like these Penguin House books, they have a formula for these because they're all really similar. So many of these books I've read that have chapter summaries, but it's nice for the book club because then you can just look at that chapter summary at the end and remember what the fuck that
and just recite everything that's there.
Yeah. Oh, and also you said the thing about the book, reading a book and not getting anything out of it. I forget the quote, but it's like, you can't read too fast or too slow or something. So you're like, that's specific to a book and not just any sort of system for
yeah. Well, I've heard that like same analogy used for like music as well too. It's like playing music correctly is like not going too fast or going too slow. It's like you have to have the correct pace for it, and like reading's like the same thing.
Reading to achieve understanding.
Yeah, rather than just like the goal, like who was that one YouTuber that everyone was he got popular and he was everyone memed about him all the time, because he had he had a giant bookshelf in his Ferrari garage. And he's like, "This is how you read a book," and he picks it up and he just like flips through all the pages.
Oh, yeah.
He just flips through the pages and doesn't get anything out of the book. He's like, "I'm a genius now." Puts the book back on the shelf, never to be touched again. It's like, yeah, real effective use of a book there.
Yeah, that's how I read. Actually, I just I sleep with the book under my pillow.
Yeah,
Beat it into your head.
Yeah.
I just
and then I dream about what's in the pages.
Yeah, my strategy is I just skim my eyes over the words to like look like I'm reading, and then I'll go into ChatGPT and be like, GPT, what did this fucking book say? What is the meaning of this book?
So you just read ChatGPT.
Yeah, I just read
You know, I haven't-
ChatGPT. Whatever ChatGPT says is the law.
Yeah, I use character.ai and get my favorite characters to read books to me, to explain them to me.
So sick. Oh, and
Luigi.
one of the little footnote things that I also wanted to include is that he talks about trajectory. Like your trajectory is more important than like what goals like you've currently obtained or like what your state is currently. And he says that in like the footnotes, he basically says that if a plane went from LAX to New York and it was just off by like 3.5 degrees, that it would end up in Washington D.C., which is like 225 miles away from New York.
Yeah.
So like your trajectory matters a lot.
Oh, I got
than,
I got a shooting analogy, bro. It's called aim small, miss small. So the idea is, and I watched American Sniper recently, and they have a specific example. So let's say you got your eyes on the target, and if you aim for, let's say, a button on their shirt, you might miss by a couple of inches. But if you aim just for their torso, you might miss by a couple of feet. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
relate that to the book how you will, but yeah.
Sounds pretty good. So does Joseph want to do his turn now?
Sure. There was one part that stuck out to me when I was reading through it. So apologize if I do horrible. This is the first time ever having a book club and doing all this, but it was after reading the part of the 1% better every day part where he talks about the ice cube sitting in the room melting, like, you know, you start 26, 27, 23 degrees, not until 32 degrees that you hit that plateau and you start getting better improvement. It's like a lot of people I can see, it's like they're expecting immediate things. It's like the little things that you do over time building up, and then as you progress on, you're doing better. I can apply that to current situations current situation for like life and stuff like that. So it's like if you're not doing the stuff to add up to it, it's not going to get better. That's like one thing that stuck out to me. Other than that, I really don't have much to say on that one.
Yeah, so you like the 1% ever? Yeah,
the 1% better for every day. It's like people want the immediate progression. That's what they're looking for. But it's like every little small thing that you do adds up over time. You gotta look at the long-term goals.
Yeah, I think during that one he was talking about like the British like bike Olympics or something like that, and like
that's what he was talking about. How they went through everything from like stopping dust from building up on the bikes to just even like going as far as like seeing what beds that they could have the athletes sleep in to make them better for every single
and doing
thing.
steroids.
Well, there is that one part where he talks about putting gel to keep their like muscles warm and stuff. Who knows what else they put in that gel in there?
No, I read the little fucking footnote. He has an article on his Did you guys read that? The article on his website about the
No,
cycling?
I didn't read that. I have to check that out.
No.
It basically talks about how on the website for the book, I guess it's just James Clear website, whatever. Anyways, he talks about how the fucking British cycling, like some of those athletes, I don't think it's literally steroids, but basically they were abusing like certain drugs that it was like loopholes because it wasn't technically against the rules. Like for example, like injecting like a muscle something to like relax or like rejuvenate their muscles quicker. They were like injecting it.
Basically like a muscle relaxer.
Yeah, or like one dude, the guy who won all of the Tour de France's or whatever, he like was on twice the legal in their like league or whatever, you know what I mean? Twice the legal dose of like asthma medication, I think.
Oh yeah, so because it's a bronchodilator, so you can get like more air and stuff.
Right. So that
Right.
So it was like little. It wasn't. I don't think it was literally steroids, but it was like still they were kind of gaming the system. You know, 1% gains.
That's a gray area.
It was every other chemical but steroids. Like
yeah.
Well, it'd still be a performance enhancer. Why isn't it like caught because of that? It's like I don't know. That's a little bit weird.
Well,
but...
they have like a legal amount, and I don't think they were always like technically breaking the rules, but I'm pretty sure they broke the rules in that. At least according to James Clear's article or whatever. I didn't actually look into it. Who gives a fuck about cycling?
Who cares about the British? Who cares about the British?
Exactly.
That's the real problem. So Joseph likes the 1%. You just
better every day.
Yeah, you get 1% better over time.
Did you see the bad habits part too? How like doing a couple bad habits will set you closer to zero than versus doing 1% better every day. Like you can fall back pretty quick.
Yeah. Did you see how he showed that like the 1% gain is kind of like an exponential curve?
Yeah, first you get what they call the depression curve or depression slope. It's not until you hit that plateau and you start doing better. It's like for a little bit.
Oh, yeah, the Valley of Disappointment.
Yeah, the Valley of Disappointment. Yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah.
Valley of Disappointment, and that's where a lot of people get deterred and just stop doing it. And they fall back into their bad habits, and then they end up back at the same part where they were starting out at.
Yeah. Okay. Is that it for your turn, or was there anything else?
Yeah, that's it for my turn. That's it.
Okay, Brett wants to go.
Sure. So pretty much on par with you guys said. There wasn't too much to talk about since we only read one chapter. The introduction was kind of sad, honestly. It sucks that happened to him. Getting hit in the face with a baseball bat really sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, he got completely... He basically... They did a factory reset on him with that baseball bat.
That's fucked up.
No, it's basically what... I mean, well, it's pretty accurate, though. I mean, because he had to, like, learn how to walk and talk and everything again. He basically was, like, reset.
Yeah, he had to work from the ground up, which is a big thing that I feel like is going to happen in this book. Because, like we were talking about the 1%, if you think about your daily life and how you go about it, if you change something different that is for the better, that 1%, it should be like, again, compounding interest on your regular system throughout your day. You should be feeling better about stuff, which is what I assumed.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of the Jordan Peterson, like, clean your room thing.
Yeah, like you clean your room, it's all clean, and then if you continue in those bad habits, then your room's just gonna get messy again. So I agree, like, the system is more important than your results. I am kind of concerned, though, for, like, how the book is going to continue, saying achieving a goal is only a momentary change. Like, yeah, that is true. When you hit your goal, you're like, oh, thank God I don't have to do this again. But you should be still striving to your goal. Like, you shouldn't completely forget it, I don't think.
Yeah, I think maybe, like,
the blocks is better, but...
Yeah. I think definitely,
still have your
like...
goal in mind.
Yeah, I think definitely, like, the system should be, like, the important thing, but, like, maybe the goal should be kind of like the, like, close, like, stepping stones that you get to. That's, like, kind of like a milestone thing. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. I achieved this. Because I know for me, I always get, like, in and out of programming, because I'll just be doing nothing related to programming, and then I'll have an idea for, like, a program I want to make, and I'm like, oh, crap, I want to make this, and then I'll get back into programming for a couple months, and, like, I'll build something, and then when I'm, like, satisfied and finished with it, I'll just stop programming, and I won't touch programming for, like, a year. And so I've learned, like, a bunch of different languages and stuff just because I, like, pick it up, build one project with it, and just stop, and then just don't touch it for a year.
That's a big thing that I am worried about with this book. Like, for me, the hardest thing is not about, like, continually doing stuff, unless it's, like, again, like how we play games or something. We play a game for a little bit, and we peter out, but we can always go back to it. That's fun. In our friend group. But, like, again, with programming, I have an idea, I want to program, I do the programming, now I don't have an idea, how do I continue that? Or, like, how do I start doing something and then keep on with it? Like, I'm not even disappointed with the progress per se, but I'm just not interested in it anymore. Is that what the book is addressing, or is it something else entirely? Is what I'd want to see more.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I think... Well, the book is supposedly supposed to be very practical, so how to, like, build habits and stuff, and how to, like, kind of, I guess, ingrain it. But, so maybe he will kind of, like, touch on that, and, like, how you kind of keep going on something. Because it'd be honestly really nice if we, like, the things we're interested in, if, like, we kept doing those and getting better at them all the time, rather than just, like, having a goal that we go towards, and then once we accomplish the goal, kind of just like stopping.
Yeah, like I don't know. I was just hoping that he'd talk about that more. Obviously, in the first chapter, so we don't know. But is it actually we can get continuous learning out of this, or is it just make a goal, work on the system towards the goal, then you just set a higher goal? I don't know. Those are my main thoughts on the first chapter, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I can definitely kind of see like what the author's kind of getting at, because I mean, in our like, in contemporary society and stuff like that, we definitely do hyper focus on goals. So maybe it's like his view is like focusing a lot on the systems as kind of like a counterbalance to it, because it's like we already the author might kind of just mean that like you should have both, like you should have like the systems and goals. But since we're like so hyper fixated on goals already, that maybe the author feels like he only really needs to talk about the systems component and not so much about the goals component. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
No.
All right. So, Brett, are you done with your turn?
Oh yeah, that's my turn.
Oh,
Pass your turn.
yeah. He passes the hockey stick to Blake.
Oh fuck.
Blake's turn. Blake's turn.
I was actually reading the book while you guys were talking. No, I'm just kidding.
I haven't read a single page of this damn thing. I can't read.
Yeah, I can't read, actually. My English isn't my first language, but, okay. So I did make a couple notes there while you guys were talking. And then my mom came in, so then I had
stole
no clue
all of our notes.
I had no clue what you guys were talking about at the end, because my mom came in, to my room. But anyways, first
She's
of all,
out
this
of
graph,
book club. Kick her out.
this graph, the 1% better every day, I feel like is bullshit, because, you get well, this is just a little nitpicky, but you get gains, like, if you've heard of the concept of newbie gains, like in the gym, where in the beginning when you're working out, you see big improvements a lot of times if you take it seriously, and then you plateau. I feel like that's usually the standard for learning a new skill, is when you first start learning, everything's new and exciting, so you get some huge gains and you're motivated, and then after, like, let's say a year, maybe a year, it's specific to what the skill or whatever the fuck you're doing is, obviously, but then you start to level out, you start to plateau. So I feel like the valley of disappointment, maybe, well, the y-axis is results, so maybe it's a bit different. Maybe the y-axis for this example to make sense, it would need to be like skill or something. I don't know. That's usually how I think about it in terms of goals, is like improving at things. But the valley of disappointment would be not at the beginning, because at the beginning you're usually excited about stuff, so you're impressed with any improvement that you make. Like the valley would be somewhere at the end, because you've been working at it for so long and you have barely gotten any better than you were yesterday. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is it gets exponentially harder to get 1% better if you're 100% better than you were. Well, maybe 100% is not much if you started at 0, but you know what I'm saying. When you're an expert, it's a lot harder to get better at something. So I don't know. That was my point about the little graph. I just had a little nitpick. If you guys want to weigh in on that, you can.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I think the like acquisition of skill is like a bimodal like distribution. I think I've seen like a graph before where basically it's like it's first kind of like a curve that like slopes up, and then it crashes back down. So like the first curve
You
is
get
just
worse.
like yeah, you do. The first curve is like you think you have it, and you're like oh wow, you have like a superficial understanding of it, basically, and you kind of have like an ego, and you think you're kind of good. You think you're good at it and stuff, and then you start to like go downhill. And you're like I'm an idiot. I don't know anything. Is that XQCD?
No, I
Common?
know what the graph you're talking about is. It's like the peak of stupid or something like that. It's when you. I don't know what the actual term is. We'll call it the peak of stupid, but it's basically whenever you're brand new at something and you have no idea what's out there and you know barely anything, but you think you're really good at it.
Mm-hmm.
It should be what you're talking about, but I forget what it's actually called.
Yeah, but that's
Um,
basically my like relationship when it comes to
Yeah.
acquiring a skill. It's like you first start out, and then you're learning the terms, and you're kind of like getting the hang of things. Like with programming, I had that the first time when I first started programming. I'm like, oh wow, I did Hello World, and you start learning things, and then you do like the simple programs, and it's easy, and you're like, wow, this programming stuff's pretty easy, and then you start to go to the more hard advanced things that you're not
Yeah.
prepared for at all, and you're like, I'm an idiot. What even is a keyboard? What's a program? It's like-
True.
and then so like you feel like your knowledge and skills that you acquire and everything kind of like invert, and like you get exponentially worse, and then eventually you start climbing back up and like gaining actual like skill.
Yeah. But the thought, I don't know. I like the, I don't know how you'd call it. I like the thought of getting 1% better every day. It's like a positive thing to have. Speaking of positive outlooks, the thing I liked one of his notes. I don't know if this is in the chapter summary or not, but where he says something about delaying happiness until a goal is completed. Basically, you're picturing yourself in the future, when you've completed the goal, whenever that may be, and you're like, I'll be happy whenever I've done this. Let's say, for example, like I'll be happy whenever I've graduated college. So
Yeah,
and he mentions something, I don't know. Basically, what I took away from it is that you should try, I don't know, be happy or satisfied, not to the degree that you'll stop, working, but enjoy the process, the grind, if you will. Enjoy the
Enjoy
build up, because
Sigma grind set rather
yeah,
than
because once
Sigma
you
goals.
reach that goal, there's going to be another goal. So if you just keep delaying happiness until you've completed all your goals, then you're never going to be happy, because you're always going to have goals. So
Yeah, and whenever I acquire goals and stuff like that, you might feel like good very temporarily, maybe like 30 minutes you feel like good for it and stuff, but then after that you kind of definitely do feel like lost.
So I don't know, enjoy the basically what I got from that is enjoy the grind, a little bit, appreciate the moment, if you will, with a little mindfulness.
Yeah.
I guess.
Hopefully he like addresses that, because that was also like Brett's concern too about like how do you continually keep like the habit if you don't have like a current goal.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like if you have the goal of like, say you want to increase like your knowledge base and you want to be more intelligent and stuff, and it's like you've like finished all of your books, you like know more books to read. It's like, how do you keep going about that process if you don't have like a goal or like a target to do?
I guess it's also different based on what the actual subject is. Because like if
Yeah.
I want to do something, then I'll go do it because I want to, and then I'll keep doing it because I like doing it, and that makes sense to me. But if you are doing something like in IT, you're supposed to like continually develop your skills because technology developed and stuff. How do you like make yourself go towards learning new technologies? That's your goal. How do you continue doing that over and over and over when new technologies keep on being developed over and over and over? Like, when does that particularly
True.
stop for you? When you want to be a specialist?
Never.
When you want to be a generalist? Like,
Continual learning forever, Brett. That's what you signed up for.
that is what I signed up for.
Yeah, actually, I guess that's what most of us signed up for, because we're all in like the
Yeah,
same
like
realm.
computer field and stuff. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I don't know. I have
I
no
don't know if I
idea.
have any other notes though. That was the notes I took while you guys were talking. I'm just looking at the chapter summary. I like the author. This is unrelated to the first thing. I mean, I read it. Don't get me wrong, I read it. This is unrelated to the first fundamentals section or chapter or whatever, but besides this guy having a bald ass head, I liked his little introduction. Like his story.
Wait, bald head. Where was that?
Do you have a dust cover? Or do you have a hardback book?
No.
Well, on the hardback book it shows a picture of him, and this dude's bald as fuck. But
Oh.
anyways, I'm sure he's a great guy. Did you guys read the introduction, like first couple
Yeah.
pages?
What is it?
Okay.
Like, what the fuck does that even mean?
He got his nose and eye sockets and his skull broken by a baseball bat. This guy made out of paper mache.
I mean,
No, he was
Like
maybe
someone
maybe he was
that was in
buff or
high school,
something.
right?
Yeah.
Then yeah, I would totally assume that would happen. Like, especially if the bat slips out of your hands, because like high schoolers they use metal
Wait, but
bats and shit.
like, how did he get hit by the bat? Was it like the top of the
Well,
bat?
Well,
No,
someone
he's like-
probably
he's-
swung and then it slipped out of their hands and it went any which way to the side or
Yeah.
behind them, and he just got decked in
Yeah.
the face.
Yeah, someone was up at batting and he went to swing and it slipped out and it smacked him
No,
in
like
the
I
face.
know how he got hit by the bat, but I'm saying like which part of the bat did he get hit by? Because I feel like it would have to be the most like perfect hit to be able to destroy his face.
I
It's
mean,
an aluminum baseball bat. They got some weight, and if somebody swinging that hard and that,
They
that
do.
bat,
it
and
hurt.
that little handle piece at the end where you're holding it, that's like a ball ping hammer hitting you in the
A
face. All
pommel.
that force. Yeah.
I don't know. But can we can we talk
It
about how,
doesn't.
how
I was say
Blake?
it struck him directly between the eyes. So
Yeah.
that's like the toughest part. So if it broke that part, it's breaking the rest of his face too.
Yep.
Definitely.
I think on Bob's Burgers they said it only takes. Was it Bob's Burgers? It's like 5 pounds of force to put your nose bone in your brain.
Well, that's if you're like, I think that's if you're hitting up. You know, if you like directly hit it up.
No, I think there'd be way more resistance from the tissue from that, right? Not
No,
5
yeah.
pounds. That
If
means like
somebody does that, like you can actually palm somebody if you're pushing up into the nose.
Yeah.
And you
yeah, but
It
that's
doesn't
way
take
more
much.
than 5 pounds of force though.
I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
complain to Bob's Burgers or wherever I
Complain to
heard
Bob's
that, bro.
Well, because it's like the nose doesn't have zero resistance or anything like that. There's a bunch of tissue holding it. But can we talk about Blake talks about the author being bald, and then immediately says like I'm sure he's a good guy. As like,
That was all
what do you
over the
think,
place.
Blake? Just because he's bald, he's an evil villain? Is that what you think?
Are we really? Are we focusing on this? Is that
Is that Blake's like, oh, this guy's bald. He's got to be an evil villain.
No, he seems like a great guy. And this book's
I
interesting.
see your
mean,
fingers crossed. Your fingers are crossed behind your back right now.
I read through these pages super quickly, so I mean it was kind of compelling. That's what when I said all these books have like the same structure. I feel like I don't know if this is his first book or not.
Yeah, I think so. I
but
think that is his first published book.
I've read like several first books, and they all have the same structure so far. At least the ones I've read, where it was like they'll give little random stories. Well, this guy's given stories that didn't actually, besides him getting hit in the face with a baseball bat, stories that didn't actually happen to him. But there's like this one security book I read where I don't know, he's probably older than this dude, so he had a bunch of crazy stories. But anyways, they're all similar and they have little chapter summaries. But, yeah, I liked it. I like the idea.
So sick.
My closing remarks for my turn before I pass go is I like the idea of his just the neat little you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems, because I mean it made a lot of sense actually in
Mhm.
terms of you could set lofty goals, but if you don't take any action to achieve them, then nothing will come of it, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, basically, it's all the, what did he say? It's like nobody sees the effort. A lot of I mean, if it's something that you're working really hard at, oftentimes grueling and boring effort to achieve, you know, what did he say? Like that overnight success level that you will inevitably, or well, ideally reach, I guess, if you keep at something long enough.
yeah.
But, yeah. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Do anybody else have any like remarks or anything about the book?
Any insults for the author?
Alright.
In the craft specifically, I get what y'all mean about like skill level and talking about the plateau of latent potential. If you were to like say that is skill, I would agree with you, Blake, saying that it probably like goes up more in like a 1-for-1 line, and then it like plateaus a bit, and then it probably goes up
Yeah.
with that. Like your level of learning kind of plateaus until a certain point when you have like a bunch of hours or something in your skill or whatever you're doing, and it probably goes up a bit more.
You
But
hit that brick wall, you fall down, and you gotta climb higher.
yeah, pretty much. But I think
Yeah.
the arrows more represent, I guess, happiness, or at least I thought that. Like,
Mhm.
if you do try to do 1% better all the time in your daily life, like eat better, exercise,
Yeah,
stuff
so
of that nature, I think overall your happiness is going to go up is mainly what it is, and
Hmm.
like
Oh yeah.
the 1% better every day graph. I'm pretty sure he just like did numbers for that and was like, yeah, just put it in there because it's
Yeah.
not
I mean,
showing like your
it
results.
makes sense.
Well, I think
Yes.
maybe like when he's talking about the 1% better thing, he's talking like in a general term. It's like you're improving at like everything
Yeah.
simultaneously, like and not just like one specific like skill. So like you're you're exercising better, you're eating better, you're sleeping better. So it's like you're getting like exponential gains from like slowly improving like every aspect and domain of like your life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
like you're
that's
you're
kinda what I
reading,
was trying to
exercising.
say.
Yeah, no, yeah, I get you.
I liked it.
I like to
It's
do
kind of ominous. The like
that's ominous.
what no, the part he said about the bad habits, something like basically they'll
Oh,
come
the-
back.
Yeah, they
Get
reset
you.
you to 0.
Some
yeah,
shit.
They come back, yeah, they come back
Yeah.
to get you.
It's
like
real.
like they compound negatively.
It's
Yeah.
real because it's like
Yeah,
you
he
don't
has
you don't
the table here with the positive
Hey,
and
good
negative
example about
compounds.
that. Like we eat fast food once, and then we keep doing it, and then we waste all the good shit
Now
that
you're
we
fat
bought.
as
And then
fuck.
yeah, and you
Yeah.
feel like shit. You're fucking get horrible sleep. Like it's bad. I
You
can
know,
relate to that.
the bad habits definitely do compound because it's like you don't see a lot of people like people can start off like skinny and then you don't start getting like fat until they're like close
Dude,
to like the 30s.
it's like my roommate. I'm putting
Yeah.
him on blast, but he door dashes every single meal. This dude's fat. No, I'm just kidding. He gained like 20 pounds, but he's not fat. He's not fat, but
Yeah,
he
no.
gained a lot of weight this semester.
Yeah, it definitely happens over time. It's like that threshold, like with the ice cube
I am my
melting.
roommate.
And
And,
what led to that? That
You're-
one bad habit of being lazy, not wanting to do shit. And now you're
Yeah,
fat.
no,
You
he's just
doing
like
shit.
me. He's on his computer all day. So I mean, I can't blame him. Can't fault him, but I can put him on blast. Fuck you.
I mean,
Wow.
yeah.
Dox him now. No, I'm kidding. Don't do
Uh,
don't do that.
He's from Romania. He'll hack me.
Oh, no. So sick.
If you guys don't know, Romania, it's like a hub for cybersecurity.
It's like it's a
Yeah.
fake place. Doesn't
and
exist.
criminals,
And
cyber criminals.
Yeah, so I thought the book was pretty good so far.
I like it. Like I said, I'm reading it quickly, so I mean it's interesting.
Are you blazing through it without us?
Oh no, I mean I just read up to what we need to discuss. Partly,
Okay.
well, I read before I went to bed, so I wanted to watch TikTok, and then I also didn't want to read too far ahead in case I would like mix stuff up. Because like I said, I didn't take notes, so this is just what I remembered from the book.
Yeah, I just write down like pretty much just like the concept or like just like a short sentence or something. Not even like sentences. I'll like I wrote down aggregation of marginal gains, which is like a thing that he concept he talks about in there and stuff, which is
Yeah.
basically the 1% in all domains type of thing. But yeah, I mean it was good session. Do you guys think that's good? That's like the end of the session.
I think so.